morning, students, and welcome to this Thursday. Uh, what is it? April 2nd, 2020, in which we are starting our science lesson on this wonderful morning. Um, Thank you all for keeping up with the work. I really appreciate it once again for all of you who are participating and completing the work and sending it out to me. I really, really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get started today with our do now. Um, Now, the question for our do now today is, what is one thing that you have been doing more since school has been at home? I know we like to do a lot of things. Um, we like to do a lot of things, and sometimes we don't have enough time for those things due to the fact that we have school, we have homework. Now that you're working from home, you should have a little more time throughout the day. So, what is something that you have been doing more and more? Because we already talked about watching TV and reading. You cannot say watching TV or reading. Let's also say that you cannot say sleeping. Let's also say that you cannot say video games because all of you have shared that already. Instead, I want to know what other things have you been doing since school has been at home. In my case, I have been cycling a lot. I have a bike that you guys have seen me take the bike to school. I really enjoy biking. But lately, I've had a lot of time to go biking, which is great. I've been biking for about an hour a day, and I really, really enjoy it. Another thing that I've gotten to do is cooking. I really like cooking. I would like to potentially be able to make like chef-like dishes at some point in my life. So that's one of the things that I've been practicing at, getting better at my cooking. So cycling and cooking are two things that I've been able to do more and more um, now that we have a little more time at home. So please comment down below what are things that you have been doing more at home, things that you have had more time to do. Once again, it cannot be watching TV, it cannot be reading, it cannot be sleeping, it cannot be video games. And if you say something like playing, be specific. Tell me playing how? Playing how what? Doing what specifically? Make sure you give me specific answers. All right. So let's go ahead and continue our conversation of this week with solutions. Yesterday we talked about mixtures. Today we're going to talk about solutions. The big difference between mixtures and solutions is that while mixtures can be easily separated, solutions cannot. There are three properties of solutions that we need to memorize. Number one, solutions are made up of two or more substances, just like mixtures. Here's where they start differing. Number two, solutions cannot be easily separated. Once you combine substances to make a solution, you cannot take one of the substances out easily. Because, and this leads us to point number three, in solutions, substances change their physical properties. And they can change in many different ways. In some cases, like sugar becomes so small in size that you cannot see it anymore. In a case like Kool-Aid or chocolate milk, the chocolate or the Kool-Aid powder spreads evenly in the liquid or in the water or in the milk so that you cannot tell what is milk, what is chocolate, what is water, what is Kool-Aid mix. So the substances definitely change properties and cannot be easily separated. Now, when you make a solution, a lot of things can happen. Number one, components can change in size. If you put sugar or salt in water, the sugar and the salt are going to change in size. They're going to become so small that you can't see it anymore. And we call that dissolving, right? Number two, components can change in taste. Obviously, if you put water or salt in, salt and sugar in water, the taste of the water is going to change. Components can change in smell. Lemon juice put in water is going to make the smell of the water change. They can also change in temperature. If you put ice cubes in a solution, that solution will change in temperature. Overall, the components can change in physical characteristics. Whether it's size, taste, smell, temperature, any of those can change in a solution. Now, it's not to say that a solution cannot be separated ever. A solution can be separated, but it's harder. There are two ways to separate a solution. The first one is a centrifuge, which I wasn't able to get to class. Hopefully when we go back, we can use one of these, but here's a short video on how it works. So this is a tube of blood, which they're putting in there. They put inside the machine. The machine, as you can see inside of it, is spinning. Now, right now it's spinning kind of slowly, but it does go up to very, very high speeds. They leave it on there for like a minute or two, and it continues spinning. As you can see now, it's slowing down even further. And now that it's slowed down, you can take things out. Careful not to drop it like this person unfortunately did. But yeah. So this one was just a regular liquid, but this one over here, the one that she's about to pull out, that one, as you can see, you can clearly now separate the blood from everything else that's inside the blood, like white blood cells and fats and other things like that. So that's how a centrifuge works. Things spin so rapidly and they get separated. So if we were to put chocolate milk in there, all the chocolate powder would go to the bottom and the milk would be white on the top. Another way to separate a solution is through evaporation. If we have salt or sugar in a cup of water, if we evaporate the water, the salt and the sugar are not going to evaporate with the water. They're going to stay behind. So eventually you're going to run out of water because it's all going to evaporate. And at the bottom of this container, you will have the salt and the sugar that was originally in there. All right, so evaporation and centrifuge are the two ways in which you can separate a solution. And that concludes our lesson for today. The things that you need to complete today are this. Number one, in your packet, you need to complete pages 27 to 36. You need to show all of your work. Then I need you to complete the concept attainment quiz on page 37. And finally, just like we did yesterday, check GroupMe today. I'm going to give you 2 quizzes that you need to complete by today. Don't forget to take a picture of your grade and send it over to me along with the rest of your work. Okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I will be here for your assistance. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great Thursday.